Okay, so it's Technology Month, and this month I'm going to cover 4 books on technology. And the first book that I picked is this, Data and Goliath, The Hidden Battle to Collect Your Data and Control Your World by Bruce Schneier. Now, we've all heard about big data, and I'm sure a lot of you think you know what it's about, as I did, but you're not really sure. And big data is really fascinating because we're living in a day and age where data is everywhere. Everyone's collecting data in everything, and what it's being used for is the real question. What people are using your data for is really, really important. Now, he goes into detail about Edward Snowden, about the NSA, about the data that they collect, and I could try and scare you with facts like the NSA knows where you are any time of the day, but I'm not going to do that in this video. What I want to do in this video is try to show the points that really made me think, the things that I didn't think about before reading this book. Now, there was one sentence in this book that really highlighted this for me, and it said that if something is free, you're not the customer, you are the product. So all of these free services we are using, they're using your data and they're selling that data to data brokers. These data brokers use that to create a profile on you. That profile is then used to target specific ads to you. It's also used to target specific prices to you. So for flights, for small purchases, you might actually get a higher price based on your profile just because you're identified as a higher income individual, based on your likes, based on the suburb where you live or where you connect from. The other thing that's really important for you to realize is that all of your news feed, all of the news you see on the internet is based on these profiles. You see the things that you like. So if you're pro-Trump, you're going to see more pro-Trump posts. If you're anti-Trump, you're going to see more anti-Trump posts. This might not be the real reflection of the world, and you need to realize that you might not be seeing the other side of the picture. The other thing that they mention in this book that's a little bit scary is that all of this data is saved. Everything that they record is saved, because for these companies it's easier to just save everything versus trying to pick out only the important information. What that means for you is that that stupid tweet that you might have liked when you were 16, or that little illegal download you did when you were 18, all of that has been saved and might come back one day. Somebody can trace that and go back and point to that one day in your life. And that raises the more important point, and this is the point that really made me think. If you know that everything on the internet is being monitored, will you click on things that might have repercussions for you? If this existed 10 years ago, would the discussion on gay rights, would the discussion on the legalization of marijuana ever really happened? Would you have clicked on a link about marijuana 10 years ago if you knew it was recorded and it could be traced back to you 5 years from now? And that's a scary point to think of, because that enforces the status quo. That sort of takes away your freedom, because now you're scared to click on things. Now you're worried about the repercussions your actions might have. I thought this was a really interesting book. It's a slog to read through. I suggest it if you are very interested in your privacy and you want to know what people do with your data. I hope this video gave you something to think about. It's definitely given me something to think about, and I'll see you again next week with my next video.